This is a basic Kung Fu video that is going to be focusing on stances. So there's a variety of Kung Fu stances that we use that basically make up the foundation of our footwork, the first one being horse stance. You can see that I got my legs at about shoulder length, spread out, my knees are bent, and I tuck my knees in slightly, grabbing at the ground. In all these stances, I'm going to be keeping my hands in a fist formation, and I'm going to have them tucked into my side so that I don't become dependent on my hands in order to keep my balance. So this is called a horse stance. From the side, it should look like this. You should see that my back is still straight, my head is up, my knees are bent. It's important to note that the toes are faced forward. The knees are not pointing outward. The knees are pointing inward slightly. The next stance is very important. It's a very short stance. It's called cat stance. I have all my weight on the back leg. In this case, it's going to be my left. I have my right leg out, and I don't have any weight on that front leg. And when I change sides, you can see it's basically the same thing. I'm keeping that front foot free and available to use in case I need to. From a sideways angle, you can see the same foundational things that we're seeing in horse stance, such as keeping a straight back, keeping those knees bent, my head up, and my arms cocked to the side. It's important to note that this is a very short stance. Now here's a cat stance if we're walking forward, to give you an idea of how you should move, and the same thing with a sideways angle. The next stance we're going to cover is called long stance. My weight is evenly distributed from the front and back. My body is at the center. My front knee is slightly bent, and my back leg is actually perfectly straight. Okay, and if I change legs, we keep our knee tucked slightly inwards to block our groin in case someone tries to kick you, you're fully blocked. And here's the same thing from the side. You can see that my front leg is bent and that the front shin is at a 90-degree angle from the ground. The back leg is straight. It pushes and drives like a piston. Same thing with the opposite leg. My back is still straight, my head is still up. All the foundational rules of Kung Fu still apply. And in movement, this is how we're going to move forward in a long stance. And from the side, you can move forward or backwards in any of these stances, but in this case, I'm just showing the forward motion. This next stance is a little bit more complicated. It's called the girl stance. Okay, and the front leg has all of the weight on it. The back leg has anywhere from 30% to 0% weight on it. You can see there, I lift the toe just to check and make sure that I'm doing that stance properly. The idea is my opponent may be so close that I don't have room to put my foot in front, so I have to place it in back. And I'm going to use that back leg to drive, to push forward. From the side, you can see it kind of starts off in a long stance. back leg is kind of tucked away behind. There's not really any weight on that leg. A majority of my weight is on the front leg. The knees are still bent, my back is still straight, my head is still up. And the same thing on the opposite leg. And here's the girl stance moving forward. You can see the back leg is driving that front leg forward. Same thing with the sideways angle. Driving with the back leg. Back is still straight, head is still up, all those things. This next stance is called 50-50 or half and half stance. And I moved a little off of the line to show you this is more of a sideways movement stance. And you can see that I wind up with my body centered. The weight is evenly distributed between the front and the back foot. In all these cases, my shoulders are always facing forward towards my opponent. And same thing if I change legs, the other leg goes in front. And with movement, kind of ends up horse, 50-50, horse, 50-50, moving back and forth in a sideways motion. And that concludes a majority of the stance and footwork that is involved in Mudong Kung Fu at the